Hi, I'm Love. Yes, my name is literally Love. No, my parents were not trying to be poetic. And yes, I was born on February 14th, Valentine's Day. Every year, my birthday comes wrapped in red and white. Restaurants fill up weeks in advance. Couples hold hands in public without shame. Strangers propose in crowded places like the world is one big romantic movie. And every year, someone laughs and says, "Wow, you were born for love." It used to feel sweet. Now that I am turning 35 in 5 months, it feels like pressure. I do not hate being single. That is the strange part. I have built a life I actually like. My apartment is peaceful. My bills are paid. I travel when I want. I laugh loudly with friends who know my worst stories and still stay. I am not lonely, but I am ready. Maybe it is because my last relationship ended quietly. No drama, no betrayal, just a slow realization that we were pretending. We were comfortable, not in love. We looked good on paper. But paper does not keep you warm. Maybe it is because I have started to notice something softer inside me. A part of me that wants partnership. Not because I am running out of time, but because I finally understand the difference between wanting attention and wanting alignment. So one random Tuesday night, while brushing my teeth, foam at the corner of my mouth and all, I looked at myself in the mirror and said, "I'm getting married by February 14th. I laughed immediately, but I did not take it back. Something in my chest felt steady. If I was going to be someone's wife, I could not be entertaining distractions. So I did something uncomfortable. I went through my phone, not casually, intentionally, deleted, muted, archived, numbers that only texted after 11:47 p.m. Men who liked me just enough to keep me available, but not enough to choose me. The Hey Stranger crew, the You Deserve Better philosophers who never actually became better. At one point, I paused over a name. We had history, laughter, comfort, but comfort is not commitment. Delete. I stared at my screen for a second afterwards. That tiny action felt bigger than it should have. It was not about them. It was about space. If my husband was going to find me, I wanted him to meet a woman who was not emotionally crowded. Then came the effort phase. The first week, I dressed like destiny had eyesight. Not regular cute, intentional cute. Structured blazers, soft dresses, heels on random Tuesdays. I made sure my hair was done even if I had no plans after work. If my future husband was somewhere in this city, I refused to meet him looking average. During lunch breaks, I rotated restaurants. Monday, Italian place across the street. Tuesday, rooftop cafe 2 blocks down. Wednesday, that aesthetic salad bar with floor-to-ceiling windows. Thursday, somewhere new. Friday, somewhere I had no business spending money at. Every afternoon I would casually look up when the door opened. Maybe he would walk in late. Maybe he would scan the room. Maybe he would see me. He never did. Not even accidentally. By Saturday I escalated. I took myself on a solo date. Yes. Full effort. Soft pink dress. Light makeup. Perfume that makes you turn your head slightly. I walked into that restaurant like I was meeting someone important. And I was. Me. I sat down. Ordered properly. No takeaway nonsense. Maybe desperate much. Soft laugh. But honestly, I just wanted to participate in my own life. If I was manifesting marriage, I could not be hiding indoors watching other people's proposal videos. Halfway through my meal, I looked around. Couples, friends, groups. Nobody approached me. Nobody even gave me a curious glance. 3 weeks. 3 full weeks of rotating restaurants, elevating my wardrobe, smiling at strangers like I was running for public office. Nothing. If I did not know myself better, I would say maybe I was not looking good. But I know I still got it. I am the it girl. Not loud, not thirsty. Just composed. Well kept. Interesting. So what exactly was the issue? Was my husband lost? Or was I trying too hard? By the 3rd Friday, I was over it. Not love. The performance. On my way home from work, I stopped at the supermarket. 2 tubs of ice cream, salted caramel and cookies and cream, family-sized chips, chocolate, sparkling juice. If I do not have a man yet, at least I can satisfy my cravings properly. I got home, changed into oversized pajamas, tied my hair up, and set up my living room for a solo movie night. Blanket, dim lights, phone on silent, just me. Halfway through the movie, I felt it. Relief. I had turned love into a project, a hunt, a weekly performance review, and I was tired. So that night, spoon in hand, I made a quiet decision. No more manhunting, no more dressing like I am auditioning for Wife of the Year. I went to bed feeling lighter. The Tuesday I met him was aggressively normal. No glow, no prophetic dream the night before, no sudden urge to wear red lipstick. I woke up late. My alarm rang at 6 a.m. I snoozed it twice. By the time I got out of bed, I was negotiating with time like it owed me money. I did not dress to impress. Who am I kidding? I had no one to impress. I wore black trousers, a simple cream blouse, and low heels. Hair pulled back with minimal makeup on my face. I looked good, but not extra. This was my I'm minding my business outfit. And for the first time in 3 weeks, I actually was. No subtle posture adjustments when a man walked in. Just living. During lunch break, I almost defaulted to my restaurant rotation. The habit was still there. Instead, I walked into a bookstore 2 streets from my office. I needed a planner, not the cute aesthetic kind, the serious one, the type that forces accountability. If I was going to get married by February 14th, I still needed structure. Manifestation does not cancel planning. The bookstore smelled like paper and quiet ambition. I stood in the stationery section comparing 2 planners that were basically identical. One said, "Discipline creates freedom." The other said, "Build the life you want." I picked up both, stared at both, put one down, picked it back up again. That was when I felt it. Not sparks. His presence. You know when someone is near you and the air shifts slightly? I looked up. He was standing on the other side of the aisle holding a book like he was debating his future. Tall, calm, focused. He was reading. Actually reading. He looked up, caught me staring, and instead of pretending I was deeply invested in office supplies, I held eye contact. He smiled. "Shh," I said to my heart. "Are those planners life-changing?" he asked. His voice was steady, not overly confident, not hesitant. "Supposedly," I replied, "but I think they only work if you do." He stepped closer, glancing at the one in my hand. "Discipline creates freedom," he read aloud. "That sounds intense." "It is," I said, "but so is being 35 in 5 months." The words left my mouth before I filtered them. He tilted his head slightly. "Is that a deadline I should know about?" I laughed. "Maybe." There was a pause. Not awkward, curious. "What's the goal?" he asked. I could have deflected. I almost did, but something in me felt calm. "I want to be married by my birthday," I said plainly. There, I said it. He did not choke. He did not say, "That's ambitious." He nodded slowly. "February 14th, he asked. My eyebrows lifted. "How did you—" "Lucky guess," he said, smiling slightly. "Your energy feels seasonal." I laughed this time. Okay, he was interesting. He did not immediately ask for my number. He asked what made me choose that deadline. So I told him. About pressure. About being born on Valentine's Day. About finally being ready instead of just being entertained. He listened. Not the fake listening where someone waits for their turn, the real kind. "My name's Zion," he said eventually. "Zion." It suited him. "I'm Love," I replied. He blinked once. "No way." "Yes way. That's poetic. Blame my parents." He laughed. We moved from planners to books, from books to work, from work to the strange clarity that comes in your 30s when you are no longer impressed by chaos. "I'm not into casual either," he said at one point. "Feels like renting emotions." Renting emotions. I felt. Because that was exactly what I had been doing before. The bookstore felt smaller suddenly, like the world had shrunk into one focused moment. After almost 40 minutes of talking in an aisle meant for 5-minute decisions, he said, "Can I take you for coffee?" And for a split second, my old energy returned. Coffee. Interview style. "I'm retired from coffee dates," I said honestly. "They feel like auditions." He paused, then nodded. "Fair. What feels less like an audition?" That question mattered. He did not defend the idea, he adjusted. "There's a brunch spot around the corner," he added. "Food forces honesty." I looked at him carefully. "Are you always this intentional?" I asked. He held my gaze. "Only when I'm interested." The air shifted again. And for the first time since I made that bathroom declaration, I did not feel like I was chasing something. I felt chosen, not claimed, just noticed. I glanced down at the planner still in my hand. Discipline creates freedom. Maybe letting go had been the discipline. Maybe this was the freedom. I looked back up at him. "Okay," I said. "Let's do brunch." And just like that, the man I was not hunting walked into my Tuesday. The brunch spot was small but warm, not trendy enough to feel staged, not quiet enough to feel awkward. The kind of place where conversations stretch naturally. We sat across from each other, menus open but mostly ignored. This felt different already. Not because he was saying magical things, because I was not performing. I was not adjusting my laugh. I was not shrinking my opinions. I was not pretending to be less clear about what I wanted. "So," he said, resting his elbows lightly on the table, "is February 14th a hard deadline or a hopeful one?" I smiled. "Hopeful. I'm not trying to drag someone to the altar under pressure." "Good," he said. "I run fast." I laughed. "And you?" I asked. "What are you looking for?" "I'm looking for peace," he said simply. "Not excitement, not chaos. Peace." Peace. It is underrated. People think it sounds boring. But when you've experienced inconsistency, peace feels expensive. We ordered actual food. No light salads pretending to be feminine. Real plates. Real appetite. And while we waited, something subtle happened. Silence. Not awkward. We both sipped water, looked around briefly, then back at each other. And no one rushed to fill it. That is rare. That. Halfway through brunch, I felt it, the fear. It whispered, "This feels good. Don't ruin it." That whisper used to make me overcompensate, ask too many questions, share too much too quickly, or worse, pull back suddenly to appear mysterious. I could feel both instincts rising, slow down, or secure him. I took a breath instead. "So tell me something honest," I said carefully. "Why are you single?" He did not flinch. "I stayed too long in something comfortable," he said. And by the time I left, I had to unlearn settling. My fork paused mid-air. That mirrored me too closely. "Same," I admitted. We held eye contact a little longer than usual. There was no dramatic music playing, just two adults recognizing something familiar. He said he would call. I did not expect him to. Let's be honest. In this generation, "I'll call you" usually means I will remember you fondly. But at 8:17 p.m. that same evening, my phone rang. Unknown number. For half a second, I stared at it. Then I answered. "Hello?" "Retired from coffee speaking," his voice said. I smiled instantly. I hated that I smiled instantly. "Depends who's asking." "Zion." There it was again. That calm tone. No rush, no performance. We spoke for 40 minutes. Not about surface things, not about what are you doing. We talked about how strange it is to reach an age where you value consistency more than chemistry, about how ambition looks different now, about how peace is not boring, it is earned. At one point he said, "You sound like someone who has done the work." That sentence sat with me. Not, "You look good," not, "You're interesting." Done the work. After we hung up, I felt the adrenaline, and that scared me a little. He asked to see me Saturday, not late night, not vague. Are you free Saturday afternoon? Intentional. We met at an art gallery downtown. His idea. I want to see what you notice, he said. That sentence alone told me he pays attention. We walked slowly from piece to piece. Some paintings made no sense. Some were disturbingly honest. At one abstract piece, I said, "It feels like someone trying to hold themselves together." He looked at me. That's exactly what I saw. The way he looked at me then felt different, like admiration. We ended up sitting on a bench in the middle of the gallery, talking like we had known each other longer than a week. "I'm not into wasting time," he said quietly. "I date, intentionally." My heart should have jumped. Instead, it tightened, because when someone speaks clearly, you no longer have the luxury of pretending. Saturday night, after I got home, the doubt came. Right on schedule. It always does when something feels real. He's too calm. It's too smooth. Something is missing. I replayed our conversations, looking for flaws. No red flags. That was the problem. My nervous system was used to chaos. Slow replies, mixed signals, emotional gymnastics. Zion was steady, and steady felt unfamiliar. By Sunday afternoon, I almost sabotaged it. I typed a message. "Hey, I've been thinking. Maybe we're moving a bit fast." I stared at it. Why was I trying to slow something that wasn't rushing? This was not intense. It was measured. The truth? I was afraid. Afraid that if this continued and failed, I would have to admit I really wanted it. And wanting something deeply is vulnerable. I deleted the message. On Monday, he did not call. Now, logically, that means nothing. We are adults. We have jobs. But my brain started narrating. See? There it is. It was too good. By Tuesday afternoon, I was irritated. Not at him, at myself for caring. When he finally texted that evening, "Long day, can I call you later?" My pride wanted to say, "It's fine." My ego wanted to delay. Instead, I replied, "Yes." When he called, I did not pretend. "I thought you disappeared," I admitted lightly. There was a small pause. "I wouldn't do that," he said calmly. "If I'm not interested, I'll say it." That level of directness disarmed me. Then he added, softer, "I don't disappear on people I'm serious about." He did not dramatize it. He did not oversell it. He just placed it there. Over the next week, something subtle changed. He became consistent. Morning check-ins. Not excessive, just present. Actual phone calls. Plans made ahead of time. No guessing games. And here is the strange part. The more peaceful it became, the more my old fears tried to convince me it was boring. I caught myself almost creating issues, almost testing him, almost withholding softness just to see if he would chase. But I stopped, because I remembered something. I asked for this, not for butterflies, but for peace. And peace does not beg for attention. It builds quietly. One evening, we were walking after dinner, streetlights glowing, air cool. He stopped mid-step. "Can I ask you something?" he said. "Depends," I teased lightly. "When you said you want to be married by February 14th, were you serious?" There it was, the deadline, the mirror moment, the quiet decision that started all this. I swallowed. "Yes," I said honestly, "I was." He studied my face, not my words. "And if it feels right before then?" he asked. My heart did something unfamiliar. It did not race, it steadied. "What are you saying, Zion?" He did not answer immediately. He stepped closer, not invading, just intentional. "I don't believe in accidents," he said, "and I don't think meeting you is random." "I'm not promising anything tonight," he continued, "but I don't date with an exit plan." At all. The air between us felt heavier now. I looked at him, and for the first time since this started, the deadline did not feel like something I was chasing. It felt like something approaching. But here's what scares me, and what happens if I let myself believe that, and I'm wrong.